the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on a Friday morning. We are glad that you have joined us wherever and whenever it is that you join us here on the Auburn Blitz and making Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. Brett and Faith here on a bright and early Friday morning. Good to see you, Faith.
Good morning. Good to see you.
As we are recording this, as people are watching this, we're on a lake fishing, by the way. So we are at the Hooks for Hope event, but we recorded this last night. And again, Auburn and Alabama fishing teams going at it. And we'll have our show live at noon, like always. And maybe we'll have some results. We did last year by the time we got off the air. Auburn knocking off Alabama in fishing last year. So maybe they'll make it 2 in a row. We had Cardi on yesterday, Cardi showing with the Auburn fishing team, and he was great. I thought, man, he had a great personality.
He was awesome, just super fired up, ready to whoop up on that Alabama butt and just get another win. And I think
PG version.
And I think if we had the opportunity to really go in there and pay our dues, you and I, they're going to wish we were on their team tomorrow.
Right. There's no doubt.
So,
especially after we send the pictures to everybody of what we're going to do. So yeah, we're excited. We're getting to fish, so that's always a positive. So we'll fish in the morning and then get set up for the show at noon. And then
am I able to take a nap in between?
I figured you'd probably be napping at some point in time because it's going to be a long day today. It's a long day today for us for sure. So
yes,
we have a football game tonight in Birmingham. So we're just going to be all over the place. But hey, we're used to it. We travel and we know what we're doing. So, all right, Faith, when you look at this football game between Auburn and Arkansas, Coach Freeze met with the media yesterday after practice like he does on Thursdays. And, some interesting things. I think right out of the gate, one of the things he was asked was about the quarterback. And because he had mentioned earlier in the week that Ashton Daniels and Deuce Knight are ready to go. And of course, obviously Jackson Arnold will get the start. So he was asked, does he have a plan for everybody? Is there a certain, sequence that they're going to do, or is he just going to see how it plays out? And he said, well, I'm just going to see how it plays out. That's exactly what I figured he would have said on that option. And basically he followed it up with this. And I said, I can't wait till Faith hears this one. I'm sure she's going to have a good time with it. If we sputter, as if we haven't been sputtering, if we sputter, you got to try something to get a spark. So if Jackson Arnold in the monsoon on Saturday in Fayetteville, Arkansas, sputters, could we see Jackson Arnold pretty quickly? Not Jackson Arnold. Can we see Ashton Daniels pretty quickly?
If he sputters as well, then is that when we see Deuce? And if Deuce sputters, do we go back to Jackson Arnold? How does this work?
Is this a reference to John Cohen's car thing?
I mean, I was going to say, so we're using sputtering and now, or we were using cars, now we're doing this. Do we have to reference everything? Can we not just give a direct answer? Lucy said, I need a direct answer.
Yeah, Lucy. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say Lucy spoke up and pretty much said it's a bunch of crap. So I heard her. She's tired of hearing this, just like we all are. But this quarterback situation, you've ridden with Jackson Arnold to this point. You haven't seen Ashton Daniels in a game. You have seen Deuce Knight come in. Was it the Ball State game that he came in? I believe it was the night game, night out of conference game at home. So we saw him late in the game, but it really wasn't much of anything. But this is from a standpoint of not being able to stop anybody. We've gone through the scores for Arkansas. They haven't stopped anybody this year. So this game sets up to be strength on strength. It's going to be Auburn's defense versus Arkansas's offense. That's the strength of both of those teams. And then the weaknesses will be going at one another. Auburn's offense versus Arkansas's defense. And like I said, they have sputtered, to use the term, when it comes to stopping anybody. I mean, they gave up 32 to Memphis, 41 to Ole Miss, 56 to Notre Dame, 34 to Tennessee, and 45 to Texas A&M. So they have given up a boatload of points to everybody except for Alabama A&M and Arkansas State. So, I mean, nobody cares. But in the games that have mattered, they've given up over 32 points in every one of those games. Now, they have lost some very close games. They have lost a 32-31 game. They've lost a 34-31 game. They've lost a 45-42 game. Then they've lost a 41-35 game. So they have lost 4 games within a score. That scares me a little bit because I think Auburn obviously has been able to hold everybody underneath their point total average for the year, every game. But this is one of the more dynamic offenses. Even though they're 2-5 on the season, they score points because they have a good quarterback and they got a good running game, and they're very balanced under Bobby Petrino. The problem they have is they can't stop anybody. Well, that's a problem for us because even against air, I told you this the other day, I don't have a lot of confidence that we can move the ball down, even in a skeleton drill, without screwing something up. I just don't. So I don't know how it's going to play out. This thing, like I said, on the title of the podcast, could be interesting.
This is going to be one of those games where which I'm glad we're not going to be there, because you need to be surrounded by some really good people for this game, because it's going to be a comical game where I think you sit there and you turn to the people next to you and say, did that just really happen? How
I mean, what is your expectations of Auburn's defense to hold Arkansas under? Can they hold them under 20 points?
I say the highest that they get is 24.
Which is not good for Auburn, because Auburn has 20.
But with the weather looking the way it is, you and I were talking earlier, they're not going to be slinging the ball around.
Right.
Can
Auburn settle in offensively with the run game with Jeremiah Cobb? Jason asked Freeze yesterday about Omar Mapson and how many what his role will be, and he went on to say, well, I think Jeremiah Cobb's playing at a high level. We're just going to watch and see what he's able to do before we look at – I mean, I think he was just basically saying, is he going to get some playing time? And he probably will now that Damari's gone. But for the most part, is this a game where you could see Auburn break the mold and give it to Jeremiah Cobb 25 to 30 times in a game and let them just run the football and try to control the pace of the game? Or are we going to see a discombobulated mess like we've seen pretty much all season outside of the first drive?
I mean, I couldn't tell you, because here's the thing. Auburn is so unpredictable and confusing. Now, we keep saying that they have a vanilla offense where they just do non-schematic things.
To use the term that's coming up.
Which you brought up earlier before we hopped on here about what Coach Freeze said about the offense.
Right.
Which you can relay that to the people.
Yeah, the schematics. He said the schematics are really good. He said he thought they had things dialed up in the first half, and then, it's just no consistency in these games. But when I look at these scores that we all know, but when you look at it in sequence, it just is it's like, are you serious? Is this a Division I SEC football team on offense that has an offensive-minded head coach that went out and got a coordinator from Ole Miss that Lane Kiffin was pissed off that Auburn took away from him, and Derek Nix, an outstanding recruiter, and you put up these point totals, 17, 10, 10, 17, and that's what you've done the last 4 games against decent teams, top 15 teams. The sad thing is 20, 16, 24, and 23 is all you've given up. If you had any semblance of an average mediocre offense, you win 2 of those games. You're not expecting to win all 4, but just be mediocre. I mean, we ain't talking about some outstanding, like just be mediocre and you're 2-2 in the SEC right now, and you're not even talking about any of this stuff. You're going, okay, well, Auburn's still in the hunt. But instead, it's so putrid that you're 0-4 in conference play, staring down the barrel of 0-5. It's disgusting. And I know I sound like a broken record, but it's disgusting to look at this, the way this offense has been and how good our defense has been. It's like, I know I sound like I say the same thing over and over, but seriously, I don't think anybody asked or answered my question yesterday. How in the heck can you be so bad on one side of the ball and so dang elite on the other? I don't know that I've ever – like, here's another first for Auburn. Like, when Auburn's been bad, it's like the whole thing's been bad. Like, in 2012, the whole team sucked. Like, there was no, the defense will come out and keep us in the game. No, they got blown out, and the offense couldn't score. So it was just a whole conglomeration of terrible. This year, it's like, let's show everybody how great we can be on one side of the ball and how terrible we can be on the other, and just blow everybody's mind. It's like, do they even – I mean, it's like they're in 2 separate pods and they don't even communicate with each other. And it's like, oh, I'm good over here. And then you look on the other side of the 50-yard line of what's going on the offensive side, and you go, good Lord, how in the world can you be so bad? But the schematics are good.
Somebody asked me if there's a lot of positivity that comes from our job. I said, no, recently, not so much.
No, not so much. Really? I mean, we try to make it. We do the best we can with being positive. And we have fun in our job. Now, how much more fun would it be if we were covering a team that actually was winning and it was actually not in a 4th quarter situation where I look at you and go, well, let's see how we figure out a way to blow this one. And that's exactly what I did Saturday, and you can vouch for me on that. I mean, it was like, we're going to overtime. It's like, all right, let's see how we can mess this one up.
Yep.
And we did.
Of course.
And so that I'm tired of that. I'm tired of being like, you and I were kind of laughing, and I know that's bad Saturday night when it all played out the way it played out, because we went same thing over and over and over. It's Groundhog Day.
And I've realized that I can't have my whole day affected by what goes out on the field.
We've just moved on is what we've done. It's like we're there to do a job, and the emotion's just kind of been drained, right? I mean, I think that's kind of where we are with it. So
I think so too.
But anyway, all right, let's talk about some positive things. Let's talk about some of our partners here on the program.
Sensagreen, for air that's cool and clean this fall during dollar days. Call Sensagreen for major discounts on HVAC repairs and installs plus installation with Professor Greenbacks. Get HVAC smart at sensagreen.com through Thanksgiving with up to $100 off. HVAC repairs, $500 off installation work, and $1,500 off a new HVAC system. Sensagreen with Carrier, turn to the experts. How cool are these coupons?
Good and cool. Very cool coupons from Sensagreen. All right, Scout Program Management, a full construction management firm that will take you from the pre-construction phases to the finished product and everything in between, holding people accountable, holding contractors accountable. You can't ask for a better company to do what they do. You got millions of dollars on the line. You need to make sure that you get what you are paying for. So call on Scout Program Management. Check them out online, Instagram, just the best in the business.
Bunkers in downtown Auburn for the game. They've got 2 bars, and I think that's enough to sell people on going to Bunkers for this
You don't
Saturday.
even have to say anything else. Just stop there.
No, but I think I can sell you on the steak sliders. I can't stop thinking about them, and I'm really excited for the next time we go back to Bunkers. We're planning that trip here shortly because I need some steak sliders in my life.
Overdue, for sure.
Long overdue.
So, yes, Bunkers, make sure you make some plans to go out to Bunkers on Saturday. Had somebody text us and call us today and ask if we were going to be at Bunkers tomorrow, and I wish we were, but we're going to be in another great place. We're going to be at the Hooks for Hope event in Hope Hull. So, Auburn versus Alabama in fishing. So, we'll talk a little bit more about that after we get done with this. So, get your predictions in. We haven't mentioned that yet.
Yes.
Make sure you list those over there. And after the show, you can continue to do that. Faith will go back and get all of that put together. Make sure everybody's got their pick in. And the tiebreaker is punts.
Auburn punts.
Total Auburn punts. So how many will that be? We saw a few people already say 4, 5, something like that. If Auburn's punting 5, 6 times against this defense, I think it's time to really say this is done at this point.
Also, another little shout out thing to be on the lookout for. Another On the Front Row with Faith. It's been a minute since I've had one of those uploaded, and there will be one today at 2:00. It is with a 5-time state championship winner. Softball player from Orange Beach. We met with her, a couple months ago before she left for Auburn, and really great girl, Dagel Wilson. So make sure you go and check out the playlist of On the Front Row with Faith at 2, and it will be there.
Right there behind you on the wall, on the front row.
Yes.
With Faith. Hey, again, I get the front row view of these interviews, and she's impressive. And we know this already, but Auburn should be. I mean, that's the kind of person you want on any team. Not only is she a phenomenal athlete and is going to contribute tremendously to this softball program while she's here, but she is just a wonderful human being, and she comes from great parents. I know them. You've met them now. You feel like you've known them for a long time now. They're just those kind of people that are welcoming. And, Dagel's a person that lifts everybody up around her, so she's the positive shining light in the room. And she'll be a huge asset for this Auburn softball team. So make sure you check out Faith's interview with Dagel Wilson. You're going to be hearing that name a lot more when softball season rolls around. I'm just telling you. As a freshman, she did all kind of unbelievable things at Orange Beach. She just won state championship after state championship. So, it's always great catching up with her, and she's impressive.
Yeah, no question. So go look for that. It'll be up at 2 on our pages.
Yes, so check it out. All right. Auburn currently ranked 23rd nationally in scoring defense, giving up only 17.9 points per game. When you look at Taylon Green, though, in this Arkansas offense, they're averaging 37 points per game. Like I said, the only outlier for them scoring-wise was Notre Dame, and Notre Dame stuck it to them. I think it was 56-13. Really uncharacteristic for them not to score some points there in that game. But like I said, they've scored over 30 in the rest of them. And, again, it's going to be strength on strength. Where does that settle? Auburn's been anywhere from 8 to 10 points holding opposing teams under their average. So if they're averaging 37, that means if Auburn plays great, like they hit the number you're talking about, the 24 number. Mm-hmm. Like holding Arkansas to 24 points would be a phenomenal day defensively for Auburn. But the problem is can Auburn's offense break 20 for the first time in SEC play this year, but they will be going against a horrendous defense. They're very similar to us.
Will Auburn score more than 17 points?
If you can combine Arkansas's offense and Auburn's defense, watch out. It would be national championship looking stuff. But they're terrible on defense, and we're terrible on offense. And both of those are going to have to go against each other tomorrow. And so I don't know what gives there. We do have a freshman center that will be starting on the road in probably nasty weather. So what will snaps look like? He had some high snaps Saturday. Jackson did wrangle those in, but will that be?
It looked better on Tuesday. Did they not?
It did. It did. And then you had Mason Murphy in there snapping worm burners back there, like barely getting off the ground. So, and I don't know if Mason Murphy's going to have some snaps in this game.
I was going to say, are they going to do some rotation? We're already playing ring around the rosy quarterbacks again. Are we going to play ring around the rosy center? What are we going to do?
Yeah, I think you like that game, and Auburn likes that game, so it gives you an opportunity.
It just really makes me picture all these boys holding hands and just saying, ring around the rosy. Da, da, da. Like, I mean, that's just seriously what I see. And there's the positives. That's what I see. I think it's great. I think it's funny. I think it's keeping me entertained when nothing else is.
You ready for
the offense
this?
Plays ring around the rosy. That's the most dynamic schematic type plays they're doing. Is ring around the rosy.
Ring around the rosy.
Put Rosie in the middle, and then let's really do ring around the rosy.
Yeah, just get Rosie there and let the quarterbacks just go around in circles. And the centers. Both of them. One can go one way and the other. All right. 2,499 yards of offense. And, you know, when you look at it, that's 357 yards a game. And that's averaging a little over 8 yards a play. Auburn's already faced a dynamic offense in Baylor. So this will be the next best offense Auburn plays. This will be the next big test for Auburn's defense. And, you know, when I look at it from that standpoint, I definitely have, to use your name, faith in the defensive side of the football to do their job, to give Auburn a chance to win the game. With that being said, here is a golden opportunity for Auburn's offense to get off the daggum mat and put some points on the board. I may pass out if we get in the 30s. I ain't talking about the 20s. Like, we've been on the verge of the 20s. Very, very close. If Auburn can make 2 or 3 of these plays they haven't been making, they could get there. And I think it's probably going to take 31 points to win this game.
We might be opening bottles of wine at Pepper Tree.
We may do
in honor of celebration if they're doing that.
Yes, if Auburn wins the game, it may be wine all the way around. So, but those are some things to watch. And again, you know, we've talked about everything under the sun, and we're going to go off the cuff here in just a minute and talk about a couple other things. And then we're going to go around the SEC and kind of see where everybody is in the SEC this coming up weekend. Like last weekend was a great slate of football games. The matchups were crazy. There's some good matchups again this week, some really good ones. And we'll go through those in a minute. But Faith, I've got to ask you, and this has to do with all this controversy. Finally, every media outlet looks like they're talking about this Ken Williamson thing. You know, we went out there day before yesterday and said, hey, pretty reputable source, article looks legit. And then it picked up steam and more steam and more steam. I mean, we were within the first 30 minutes of this thing hitting the wire, we pushed it out. And, you know, SEC, no statement. SEC, through a source of ours, said they don't make comments on personnel matters. I understand that. I get that because there's lawsuits that can be involved. And when you're dealing with HR and personnel, I get it. But Faith, this is the integrity of this game. And all I've heard the last 2 days from people is, well, what's the repercussions for the people in Birmingham that upheld the calls?
That's what I tried to say yesterday.
No, you did say that. No, you did say that. And it was brought up multiple times by other people, but it's the truth.
What is happening?
Ken Williamson wasn't in this thing by himself. Now, he's the scapegoat. He's the head official. And I don't think that the goal line play was the play that got him suspended. I think it was the rest of the debacle and things that didn't get reviewed when they went back and evaluated the tape and they said, okay, there were 11 egregious calls in this game or missed calls, however you want to say it. And I'm going to tell you one step further. That crew that refereed the Oklahoma game, they ought to be right in line with them. That was terrible.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Because the SEC did come out with a statement for that.
They did.
Again, that gets you nowhere.
Not nothing. Like, that wasn't worth the effort to put it out. All that did was piss everybody off even more. I mean, seriously. I mean, that accomplished nothing.
Put gasoline on the fire. Then the Georgia game was some sort of nuclear bomb that was thrown on top of that.
Right. Now, we just played terrible against A&M.
Yeah, see, I can't even say anything about that.
No, there's nothing to say because we played bad. All right.
The Cannons just shot Auburn. That's what happened.
God, you're still struggling from the shot, from the guns. Like, you can't go to a place 2 weeks in a row more military. Like, I felt like it was the Civil War or World War II again with all the guns and things going off at both of those places.
And I have really sensitive ears, and ever since those two things, my ears still are not back to normal.
I felt so bad for you in that end zone. Like, you were literally right by that dang gun. And it was like, there's no way you're not going to have hearing damage.
No, Reese and I, all right, this is kind of gross, but we were sharing an AirPod. And so he turns up the music all the way while we were working out.
Right.
And in the gym, literally, I was like, I think I have like some sort of PTSD from all of that because I actually.
You do that in the car too. Like when we get in and if it's turned up a little bit too loud and something comes on, or when somebody runs down the side of your vehicle. I mean, anyway, yeah, there's some opportunities there for Auburn to win some games without officials having an impact. But going back to what we were talking about, this Ken Williamson thing, he's suspended indefinitely for the rest of the year. Does he even come back at this point?
As we're on here, CBS finally just.
What is it with CBS and you, these breaking news things? Like, that was when the Cohen thing came out. Yeah. When we were on here about the car, and then now they finally but again,
they said the same thing to CBS when CBS reached out to the SEC. The SEC does not comment on personnel matters.
Well, at least they're consistent. But what did I tell?
Somewhere we find consistency.
Yes, somewhere. It's consistently bad is where they are. But not saying anything or defending him was an indictment there. And then, several officials have come out on Twitter defending Ken Williamson. And look, again, as bad as he's been, it's not all him. Like, there was a line judge that had a chance to make that call, but then they went back to the monitor and looked at that. Like, I don't know. I do think it's a good thing to show some accountability, that you're holding officials accountable. They should not be. I saw one official make a tweet and say, hey, look, we're humans like coaches and players. They're out there playing the game and they make mistakes. Are you going to bench a quarterback if they throw an interception, never put them back in the game? Or you going to fire a coach if he makes one bad call or whatever? Well, the bottom line is the officials are there to monitor and enforce the rules of the game. They're not there. They're not suiting up playing, and they ain't practiced all week. And the coaches, they haven't game planned for the other team. Now, the officials are supposed to be non-biased and create the most equal opportunity. And through replay, like the replay sucks, Faith. Why don't they even have it? 90% of the time they go, the monitor is still wrong. Well, we couldn't see and we don't have conclusive evidence. Oh, we just wasted 10 minutes of everybody's life. And that got comical the last drive of the first half against Georgia. Every other play went to the review. It took 32 minutes to get from the 2-minute warning to halftime. It's like, what are we doing? So that's another thing that people are tired of with officials. Is you have this fail-safe put in place to try to help you on controversial calls, and you still can't get most of them right. So just do away with it. I mean, just take it out of the game and let's just move on and say, okay, I missed it, and whatever. But let's go ponder over this little bitty tiny screen under this hood for 10 minutes and still miss it. It's just
listening to Birmingham scheme something up in their ears.
So was there punishment for the people in Birmingham?
No, probably not.
So, I mean, these are legit answers. I mean, it's like that's what you're supposed to do as a media member is ask the questions. Okay, what happened? Why did you decide to do this? What was the reason? What pushed you over the edge to suspend? Why didn't they suspend the whole crew? Why did they just suspend Ken Williamson? He can't make every call. He's only one guy. Like, I know I sound like I'm trying to defend him a little bit. I'm not a big fan of Ken Williamson. You know that. I mean, but he's not the only one to blame here. So
Brett says fire them all.
Who does?
You.
Yeah, well, but the problem is who you going to find to do it. I do say, and the last thing I'll say about this, and we'll move on to the SEC schedule, is quit paying these guys what you're paying them and hire them full time, during this time of year. Make it so lucrative because they determine so much of what goes on in these games and the results. But you're going to pay all these coaches and these players all this money, but you're going to pay the referees 2 shillings and a halfpenny and give them a Chick-fil-A box dinner as they get in the van on the way back to the airport to go back to their normal job on Monday. But then we put all this pressure on them to do all these things. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Around the SEC?
Around the SEC. Let's move into that. Let's talk about some of our partners first before we get into that, and we'll close out the show. Number One Customs, 334-752-6162. Man, the shower, the bathtub, the new vanity, everything, just the remodel of our bathroom was perfect. Can't say enough good things about it. Check it out on my Instagram and Facebook pages. The video, I'll walk you right through there, give you a virtual tour. So go check it out. If you need something done at your house, do the same thing. 334-752-6162.
JFA Blue Plumbing for all of your water needs. They've got the Home Atlas Water Filter Duo for just $15.99 for you to have purified filtered water throughout every single faucet in your house. It's so important to have filtered water. So call on them at 844-JFA-BLUE. Oliver Ross for your tailgating, sorority fraternity date parties, weddings, work conventions, anything like that. Oliver Ross is going to be the bartending service for you as well. And so if you want to make sure you don't have to worry about it, you can focus on entertaining or being the host, whatever it is. You don't have to worry about pouring the drinks. Oliver Ross can take care of all of that, and you're going to need them throughout the rest of this football season.
Yeah, you need to already have been partaking if you have not to this point. But yes, definitely start. Russell Medical Center, big time medical care in a small town environment. Voted one of the top 3 best hospitals in the state of Alabama. Partnered with UAB Medicine. I don't know that you can partner with a medical group any better in the world than UAB Medicine. I have witnessed personally what a great hospital they are. And so they partner with Russell Medical Center. So that should tell you all you need to know there. So if you're looking for great doctors, great health care, you need to check out Russell Medical Center in Alexander City. Again, voted one of the top 3 best hospitals in the state. All right, around the SEC, and we'll go through these fairly quickly. Also at 11 o'clock, well, Auburn's at 11:45, but kicking off the day tomorrow is Oklahoma and Ole Miss. Oklahoma at home against Ole Miss. Both teams are 6-1. Oklahoma's lost to Texas. Ole Miss lost to Georgia.
I'm taking Ole Miss all day.
I am too. Oklahoma is a 5.5-point favorite. I'm with you. I'm taking Ole Miss straight up to win the football game.
Maybe I'll wear my Ole Miss attire. I don't know.
We'll see. All right, Alabama and South Carolina at 2:30 at South Carolina. Alabama's 11.5-point favorite. I have zero confidence that South Carolina can really even make this competitive.
Not going to happen. Alabama's just going to go over there and clean up with South Carolina. I don't know.
And South Carolina's as disappointing probably as Auburn. They had higher expectations than Auburn, by the way, and they're still the same.
They did.
3-4. All right, the Fighting Eli's for Missouri head into the death trap in the SEC in Nashville, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. Both teams 6-1. That's a 2:30 kickoff as well. Vanderbilt is a 2.5-point favorite. Boy, that Vanderbilt just racking up being favored in all these games. Now they're just setting all type of records. Vanderbilt favored. They knock off LSU last week. They were favored.
I'm taking Vanderbilt.
You're taking Vanderbilt? I'm taking
I don't
Vanderbilt.
want to.
I'm taking Vanderbilt too because Missouri looked terrible against Auburn, and they still found a way. Auburn still found a way to lose to them. But that
was Auburn doing it to themselves. Don't be started.
Right.
Let's keep moving forward.
That's even worse and even more of a reason to take Vanderbilt because Missouri looked terrible.
Yeah, but I'm getting now flashbacks, and it's Auburn needs to pay for some sort of therapy.
I'll give you credit on that. All right, Texas at Mississippi State. Mississippi State has now reeled off 3 losses in conference play. So the Texas Longhorns roll in. They have looked terrible for the most part this year. They are a shaky 5-2. Struggled with Kentucky. This could be trouble for Texas. I'm just going to say it. This is not some pushover by any stretch.
Still a 6.5-point favorite.
And I still want to go with Texas in the game. But Mississippi State at home, 3:15.
It could be one of those.
3:15 kickoff, by the way. They had to find a time slot just to, hey, let's just go ahead and slide it in at 3:15. Nobody cares. All right, Texas A&M at LSU, 6:30 on ABC. Undefeated Texas A&M, number 3 in the country, goes to LSU, Baton Rouge, Death Valley. Brian Kelly, though.
Taking Texas A&M. LSU is not.
Garbage. They're garbage.
Yeah. Which is so disappointing. Really had them up high on my list preseason.
That's coming from somebody that covers our team, and we're calling somebody else garbage. All right, finally, Tennessee at Kentucky. Tennessee wipes the field up with Kentucky, I think.
Absolutely. No question about it. Tennessee, 8.5-point favorite. Yeah, Tennessee is going to go over there and do some damage.
All right, Auburn at Arkansas. Auburn was a 1.5-point favorite when it opened. It's now 3.5 for Arkansas. So, man, you want to talk about taking all the money and throwing it over to Arkansas side when the point line moves that much. So, I've picked Auburn the last 4 weeks. I ain't doing it again. I just can't. So
crazy that Auburn this week, the Auburn-Arkansas game has the highest amount of points. Like,
they're talking about the over-under.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because Arkansas averages 37 points a game.
And if that's the case.
And if you add Auburn's putrid 17 in, that gets you right around that over-under.
And that's Auburn losing.
Yes.
Messily.
It's interesting. So I don't have any confidence. I say Arkansas wins the game 27-17. And they won by 10 last year. I think they won 24-14 last year. They're going to win 27-17 this year. Auburn still doesn't break 20. I mean, even on this Arkansas defense, I just have no faith. No
Okay,
pun
wait. So what did you say? 27?
27-17. Five
And
punts.
then
5 punts for Auburn. Terrible.
okay.
So maybe it's a little reverse psychology. All right, now you got to give your prediction.
I'm gonna say 24. I don't want to say 17 because you said 17, but I
You
feel
can
like
because it's not the same score.
yeah,
It's really
24-17.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go 4 punts.
Okay. 24-17, 27-17. I had 5, you had 4. So there you go.
Okay, so everybody else get them into me so I can type them down. And wait, I have to announce the winner real quick. The winner of last week.
I mean, for Missouri, excuse me.
What?
The winner for Missouri. I said Georgia.
Last?
I said Georgia.
The winner of Missouri is Michael Ward.
Michael Ward.
The only one to choose Missouri.
Well, then he just nailed that one. So congrats, Michael. I will see Michael. I can find Michael. I will give him his prizes. So, again, congrats, Michael. Did a good day's work going with the other team. It worked out for you. Unfortunately,
the only one out of like 17 people.
Hey, sometimes you go out on a limb, it works. So it worked for Michael.
Let's see, because now we only have one Auburn winner on this week's.
So only one Auburn pick. Everybody's picking Arkansas.
Yes, but we don't have that many, so everyone get them all in. Come on.
That's right. Get them in. Well, they'll probably be pouring in today. So get them in, and then we'll take them at lunch today too. So we'll take them live at lunch. So make sure you tune us in at noon from the Hooks for Hope event in Hope Hull, Auburn, Alabama fishing. Maybe we'll have some pictures of what we caught this morning. Maybe we will. So, but again, excited to be down there. Looking forward to it. Tune us in at noon for the Auburn Blitz Show. Go out and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done that. Make sure you hit the like button on everything. That helps us out tremendously. Faith, I'll let you send us away.
Hope everybody has the best day and best weekend ever. Be safe.
Absolutely. And we will see you guys at lunch for more Auburn Blitz. Have a good morning, everybody.